Hello, all. Once again, Dr. Fox back here with you your weekend update. You know what that means? Yes, exactly. Oh, Rep is back. We've got, I got some big news in game that I finally completed. Whew, so much more, so much more. Let's just jump right into the shunt way. Dr. Fox back here with your weekend update. Looks like Rep is back. The impressive influence buff is back once again. So if you need to catch any goodies up on your rep, I know I'm out there once again, rep grinding a little bit more on just a few catch up things. I'm in game for myself. I'm just trying to tidy up a few loose ends, and I have some big news. I'm so excited. Finally, a 9.5 minute after doing it for weeks and weeks, months and months, I finally got that what do you call it again? Yeah, let me think about that for 1 second. The uncorrupted void wing. I finally got that thing before pre-patch drops. So I'm like, whew, got that. Now if I could just get all my mythic plus 15s to get that like worm mount, but I don't know. We're closing in. It's getting kind of crazy busy around here, and I may not be able to get that mount. I might end up losing out on that one, sadly, not by choice, but I think that would be about the only. And I wasn't able to get all my Azerites to all the way to rank 4. Was it 3 or 4 you needed? I gotta look back at my notes anyway. So we're closing in. Of course, as you're seeing, bouncing around here on the animated feature screen here, Afterlives. Maldraxxus has finally dropped. That dropped American time ish, late Thursday night for some early Friday morning. So that's the second of the 4 covenants. They're kind of doing that. They're putting out little canvases. I think what they're going to end up doing, obviously, is if they did it for the first 2, most likely they're going to be putting out like 4 canvases, one for each of the covenants, most likely. So that was a very also quite the little story involved there as well. Of course, Draka being Thrall's mom and all, and for those that really know that story quite a bit, it it was an interesting tale. Let me put it that way. I'm going to leave it at that, and without any spoilers, we're going to shift to our next one. There is a GCD blue post up again. For those that don't know what GCD is, that's Global Cooldowns for short, as well. And I want to send out. First off, I want to take a moment and just send my best heartfelt thoughts. We have an individual within the guild community, not my guild, but part of a guild community that I'm part of, or connected with, and I will first. I want to send a shout out to the guild community leader, and thanks for chatting with me every once in a while. I always appreciate that, and sharing some great old stories about the olden days and so much more. It's so nice to enjoy the joy with another individual, to just talk about those kinds of things. It's really nice to be able to touch on that and feel the compassion from one another's long strives through those circumstances. And then with that said, we've had a guild member that sadly has had cancer come back, and working with, now I can't say this personally because I haven't had that type of cancer, but working with some individuals over the decades, with family members and some close friends who I've helped be, you can already tell I'm like stuttering trying to find my words here, trying to find the understanding for that, and just sending our best, because when you've helped others and been their caregivers, and you're so close, and seeing them go through so much pain that you don't want to see them in pain anymore, it just, you're when you have a very very caring, deep heart like mine, it goes out like that to any individual that's suffering in any form or fashion. And with that suffering, to segue into and then we'll get on a happy note here in a moment. And then I finally get, after 2 months, even though I paid for expedited in my visa, I shared this long, extravagant circumstance that happened online with another fellow trans that was doing traveling. And I reached out to them and said a quick hello to them as well. And and I know some will say that, there's ways around it. You can eventually find someone, a doctor or a physician or someone that will stay with you long enough. Or if you have an older letter that is too old by some individual standards, and you're trying to update the letter, and with all those aspects in play, and there's so many more pieces that I can only begin to talk about. I know this is WoW, but we're not going to get into this too much. But when you're struggling as a trans individual who should have been able to, and now lost out on eventually could have been a piece of movie and television, just a piece of our history, you miss out on it because a work visa doesn't go through because you need your passport number, and your passport number won't go through because I sadly had to wake up this morning and find an email. And look, I understand red tape's in there for certain reasons, within reason. But sometimes these red tape circumstances really stretch things out. And it broke my heart to also be losing another $200, even though I tried this many years ago to get this change. And even though they passed a law that now takes the gender marker off of your passport so you don't have to show that, and then there's supposed to be a stipulation that don't worry, you have 2 years to do it before you got to pay your fee all over again with the DS11 to submit. And then there's the DS 255 or 4, something like that. Anyway, that wasn't the point. Anyway, when you work in supply and you have to learn all these DS medical military forms and so much more over the decades, the process is horrific. And it just shouldn't have to go with that. Now, with that said, we're going to shift gears. I'm not going to stay on that topic for too long because I don't want to make our weekend update too long. But we want to now into a happy note this week, and just a special happy birthday sent out to Hazelnutty over there. Hazel, you are turning 28 today, so happy 28th this week. I remember then, long time ago, in a galaxy far away. With that said, so I hope you have a wonderful B-Day as well. I had a very special individual in my life that I've known that also had a special B-Day a few weeks back, a belated B-Day. I sent them some birthday wishes on her birthday date a few weeks ago as well. And if they catch this video, they will know who I'm talking about. And just to protect their privacy and their families. And that's some of the things as we should give. That's what I've sort of been up to within reason, trying to tidy up a few things, tidying up a few rep, trying to help a guild member to get their gear up a little bit. We're running a couple of Mythic Pluses. I think I made it up to Mythic Plus 5, I think, as well. So, I almost sat down. Mora is sitting in Mama's office chair here behind me. So, and there has been some bouncing around questions I've noticed around the internet about flight whistles. At least so far we know. I know you can still use them because that would be so nice, especially when we're going back to the ground. We'll have to kind of see how that one plays out. Maybe we will see that in a later patch, possibly. But they have also added a lot more flight paths. So we'll have to see how that plays out and how well the gameplay will go that way. And we'll have to go from there. And so I think we're still a few weeks out from pre-patch. We've got 2 more animated features to drop over the next couple of weeks. The rep says till the end of the month, so possibly then as more speculation gets closer. So we'll see. With that said, let's segue into our final segment for the week. And once again, we know it's Happy Dark Moon Fair week is back up. So you want that rep buff. You want to go down to Dark Moon Fair and grab that extra 10% on so you can get 110% rep buff. I know it'll run out in an hour, but you can always stock up on those little Dark Moon little hats that have a little firework coming out of it. if need be. I know that's not quite so easy. We don't have a ton of tickets to throw in. We're trying to get that 1,000 ticket mount or some of the other old goodies there. Thankfully, I've pretty much got. Actually, no, I think I have gotten all the goodies except for a couple of achievements that are just seem way too extremely difficult for me to pull off in there. Long story. We've got the Battlegrounds this week. Let's see. Battleground bonus event is going to begin. The time walking from this past week, that'll be wrapping up. The PvP Brawl Arath, the Arathi Blizzard will be ending as well. And we've got... so that's about it. We've got a few things coming next weekend that I cannot wait to talk about. So that's a small hint right there for you. All right, with that said, once again, have another wonderful week. Good luck for those going back to school. Others that have, some of the schools have been pushed back some weeks, some that are having school at home. Some go, well, what is school? Some have been long out, so we send our best to them as well. And stay safe out there. Remember, this is Dr. Fox. Once again, take 2 wrap-up items you need to do for this week in World of Warcraft and in your life. Call me in the morning, and then once again, yes, we will see you later.